Dharmadātu Stotra, or Hymn to the Dharmadātu, by Nāgārjuna. Homage to the youthful Manjushri. Homage to the Dharmadātu, which surely abides in all sentient beings who, completely ignorant of it, wander in the three realms, and to the purity that comes from cleansing the cause of samsara. Just that is nirvana. Just that is also the Dharmakaya. Because it is mixed with milk, the essence of butter is not evident. Because it is mixed with the afflictions, the Dharmadātu is not seen. By purifying milk, the essence of butter becomes untainted. By purifying the afflictions, the Dharmadātu becomes utterly untainted. A lamp placed in a pot is not perceptible. The Dharmadātu placed in the pot of the afflictions is not seen. Whenever you make holes in a pot, the nature of light appears in that direction. When the pot is broken with the diamond of samadhi, it shines to the limits of space. The Dharmadātu is not produced, it never ceases, it is unafflicted at all times, it is stainless in the beginning, middle, and end. Although the Vaidurya jewel is always luminous, its light does not shine if it is inside a stone. In the same way, although the Dharmadātu obstructed by the afflictions is utterly unstained, the light does not shine in samsara, the light shines in nirvana. If the element is present, although through the effort of digging you will see the purest gold, if the element is absent, it only causes pain. Because it is covered by the husk, the unhusked grain is not asserted to be the rice. Because they are covered by the afflictions, they are not called Buddhas. When it is freed from the husk, the rice appears. When it is freed from the afflictions, the Dharmakaya shines fully. The banana tree has no essence, is used as an example in the world, but just as we eat its sweet fruit, which is its essence, so when one is separated from the cage of the afflictions in essenceless samsara, the essence, which is its fruit, becomes ambrosia for all embodied beings. In this way, then, from every seed comes a fruit similar to its cause. What intelligent person could prove that there is a fruit without a seed? That very element which serves as a seed is held to be the basis of all the qualities of a Buddha. Through gradual purification, one attains the rank of a Buddha. Although the sun and moon are stainless, they are blocked by the 5 obstacles, such as clouds, mist, smoke, eclipses, and dust. In the same way, the mind of clear light becomes blocked by the 5 obstructions: desire, enmity, laziness, agitation, and doubt. When a fireproof garment, stained by various stains, is placed in a fire, the stains are burned, but the garment is not. In the same way, the mind of clear light is stained by desire. The stains are burned by the fire of wisdom, just that clear light is not. All the sutras setting forth emptiness spoken by the teacher turn back the afflictions. They do not impair the element. Just as the water and the earth remains untainted, wisdom is within the afflictions, yet remains unstained. Because it is the Dharmadātu, not the self, not female, not male. Free from all conceptions, how could it be construed to be the self? All phenomena are free from attachment. Among them, female and male are not perceived. In order to subdue the blindness caused by desire, the terms female and male are taught. The mind is purified by contemplating the 3: impermanent, suffering, and empty. This quality that purifies the mind best, however, is the absence of intrinsic nature. Although there is a child in the belly of a pregnant woman, it is not seen. The Dharmadātu, covered by the afflictions, is not seen. The 4 conceptions, the conceptions of I and mine, and those due to the recognition of names and to signs, arise from the primary and the secondary elements, and can therefore be removed. Even the prayers of the Buddhas are invisible and signless. They are infused with analytical knowledge. A Buddha has the nature of eternal reality. The horns on the head of a rabbit are imagined but do not exist. All phenomena are imagined but do not exist. The horn of an ox also does not exist because its nature is subtle particles. As it was for the former, the horn of a rabbit, so it is for the latter, the horn of an ox. What difference can be discerned? Because of arising dependently and ceasing dependently, not one thing exists as imagined by fools. With the example of the horns of a rabbit and an ox, the Sugata proves that all phenomena are in the middle between extremes. The form of the sun, moon, and stars are seen reflected in a clear vessel of water. The perfect nature of all things is like that, appearing but not existent. That which is virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end, which is infallible and constant, that is selfless. How can one imagine that to be I and mine? In the summertime you say that water is warm, but in the winter you say that the very same water is cold. So when covered by the nets of the afflictions, it is called sentient being. When just that is free from the afflictions, it is called a Buddha. In dependence on the I and a form, a stainless perception occurs. Through non-production and non-cessation, the Dharmadātu is known. In dependence on sound and the ear, there is pure consciousness. The Dharmadātu without characteristic is heard conceptually. In dependence on the nose and fragrance, there is smell, the example of the formless. In the same way, the nose consciousness discerns the Dharmadātu. The nature of the tongue is emptiness. The constituent of taste is also absent. Because it has the Dharmadātu as its nature, the tongue consciousness is without location. The entity that is the pure body and the sign of the tangible object that serves as a condition, when freed from the conditions, are called the Dharmadātu. Abandoning conceptions and designations about phenomena that commonly come to mind, meditate on the lack of intrinsic nature of phenomena as the Dharmadātu. When the yogin understands seeing, hearing, and smelling, tasting, touching, and phenomena in that way, the characteristics of the Dharmadātu are complete. The 6 pure sources of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and likewise mind, just this is the characteristic of reality. The nature of the mind is seen in 2 ways, as the mundane and the supramundane. When it is taken to be the self, samsara, where there is analytical knowledge, reality. Through the extinction of desire, nirvana, through the extinction and cessation of hatred and obscuration, Buddhahood, the refuge of all embodied beings. Through understanding and not understanding, everything is in this very body. Through one's own conceptions, there is bondage. Through knowing reality, there is liberation. Enlightenment is not far and not near. It neither goes nor comes. Just this, encaged in the afflictions, is seen or is not seen. Through abiding in the light of wisdom, one becomes supremely serene. Therefore, it is stated in the collection of sutras, always abide in oneself. By virtue of the 10 powers, childish things are blessed. Like the new moon, afflicted sentient beings do not see the Tathagata. Just as hungry ghosts see the oceans to be dry, so the ignorant, due to obstructions, imagine that the Buddhas do not exist. What can the Tathagata do for deficient beings of deficient merit? It is like placing a precious jewel in the hand of a blind man. For sentient beings who create merit, the clear light and glorious 32 marks blaze. They stand before the Buddha. The form body of the protector abides for many eons and then passes away. In order to tame disciples, the single dhatu appears to be different. Having understood the objects of the mind, awareness enters into that Dharmadātu. When analytical knowledge is pure, the bhumis, stages of the bodhisattva path, abide in nature of that Dharmadātu. The sublime form of the great Lord, Shambhogakaya, the beautiful Akanishta, and the consciousness of his attending bodhisattvas, I declare that these 3 are mixed into one. All that is known among childish beings, the variety of attainments among Aryans, the lifespan of eons of the great Lord Amitayus. What is the cause of these? What is it that protects the life that lasts for eons in the outer realm of sentient beings? What is the cause of living beings remaining alive? It is the inexhaustible Dharmadātu itself, whose effect is inexhaustible. One enters into it for the sake of wisdom, specifically through non-perception. Do not think that enlightenment is far away. Do not think that it is near. When the 6 objects are not perceived, one comes to know reality just as it is. A goose drinks the milk from a vessel in which milk and water are mixed. It does not drink the water which remains. In the same way, wisdom is covered by the afflictions and remains as one with them here in this body. The yogin extracts the wisdom and discards the ignorance. One thinks I and mine, and so imagines that there are external objects. Seeing the two types of selflessness, the seeds of existence are destroyed. The Dharmadātu is the basis of Buddhahood, nirvana, purity, permanence, and virtue. Fools imagine them to be two. Therefore, yogins abide in their non-duality. Various ascetic deeds of giving, ethics gathering the welfare of sentient beings, patience benefiting sentient beings, these three increase the element. Enthusiasm for all doctrines, placing the mind in concentration, constant study wisdom, these increase enlightenment. Wisdom together with method, pure prayers, wisdom which abides in power, these are the four qualities that increase the element. It is wrong to say, I do not bow down to bodhicitta. Where there are no bodhisattvas, there will be no dharmakaya. There are those who want pure sugar but hate the sugarcane seed. Without the sugarcane seed, there will be no sugar. Through protecting the sugarcane seed, attending and establishing it, sugarcane juice, sugar, and refined sugar will come from that. Similarly, through protecting bodhicitta, attending and establishing it, the arhats, pratyeka Buddhas, and Buddhas are born and arise. As a farmer protects the rice seed, those who aspire to the supreme vehicle are protected by the leaders. On the 14th day of the waning moon, the moon is just barely visible, so the body of the Buddha barely appears to those who aspire to the supreme vehicle. The new moon is seen to increase by intervals, so those who abide on the bhumis see the dharmakaya increase stage by stage. On the 15th day of the waxing moon, the moon becomes full, so on the final bhumi, the dharmakaya is full and clear. Through study and constant admiration for the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, they perfectly reproduce that mind of enlightenment, and it comes to be perfectly irreversible. Through completely abandoning the dark base and keeping to the bright base, it is understood with certainty. It is called joyful. That which is constantly stained by various stains, such as desire, is purified to be stainless. It is called stainless. Through completely ending the nets of affliction and fully manifesting wisdom of the stainless, because limitless darkness is cleared away, it is called luminous. Constantly illuminating with pure light, it is surrounded by the light of wisdom of one who has abandoned the din of worldly affairs. Thus that bhumi is asserted to be radiant. Because all the sciences, arts, trades, and various concentrations triumph over the afflictions so difficult to overcome, it is asserted to be difficult to overcome. When there are three types of enlightenment, the gathering of all that is excellent, and the cessation of production and disintegration, that bhumi is asserted to be manifest. Constantly playing with webs of light formed into circles, he crosses the swamp of the ocean of samsara. Therefore, it is called gone afar. Definitely cared for by the Buddhas, abiding in the ocean of wisdom, effortlessly spontaneous, it is called immovable by Mara's hosts. When the yogin has completed the instructions on spreading the teaching of the Dharma through all four analytical perfect knowledges, that bhumi is called auspicious intelligence. In the body of this bhumi whose nature is wisdom, stainless like the sky, and upholding the Buddha's teachings, the cloud of Dharma forms. The abode of the Buddha's qualities holds the fruit of practice. Therefore, the abode completely transformed is called the Dharmakaya. Freedom from predispositions is inconceivable. The predispositions of samsara are conceivable. You are completely inconceivable. Who can understand you? I bow down to and praise, as is appropriate, that which is beyond the range of speech, beyond the range of the senses, understood with the mental consciousness. Through this very system of gradual entry, the most renowned children of the Buddha come to see the empty dharmata with the wisdom of the cloud of Dharma. At that time, because their minds are thoroughly bathed, they pass beyond the cage of samsara to a cushion whose nature is a lotus. There they rest, completely surrounded by millions of lotuses with desirable anthers and with the light of many jeweled petals. Replete with the 10 powers, perfectly satisfied with the fearlessness, they do not fall from the inconceivable, inexpressible qualities of a Buddha. Just as the full moon is encircled by stars, those who have amassed merit and wisdom through all the well-done deeds are completely encircled, with stainless jewels blazing in the sun of the Buddha's hand. He bestows consecration to his foremost children. Abiding there, the great yogin sees with the divine eye worldly beings debased by obscuration, disturbed and frightened by suffering, and from his body rays of light spontaneously appear and open the doors of those who abide in the darkness of obscuration. Those in nirvana with remainder seek the nirvana without remainder. Here the actual nirvana is the mind which has become stainless. Its sphere is also the unreal nature of all sentient beings. He who sees that is the Lord of Bodhisattvas. He is the completely stainless Dharmakaya. In the stainless Dharmakaya, the ocean of wisdom rolls in, bringing a variety of jewels, and so fulfilling the aims of sentient beings. This completes the hymn to the Dharmadātu by the master Arya Nāgārjuna. It was translated by the Indian abbot Krishna Pandita and the translator and monk Chul Krim's Gyalpa.